Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Of course, today, we are going to the Chinese Grand Prix, but first we have some activities to do. So, first off, we have 3 days, which we can either do air department focus, power equipment upgrade, or supplier HQ tour. As you can see, down the bottom, this is what it gives us. So I am going to go with the power equipment upgrade because we are needing power terrain stuff, so that will be good to have. Next, we have 5 days. So we're actually going to go with power team building, and then we're going to go with the supplier HQ tour. And as you can also see, we have R&D stuff to do. So I'm gonna focus on getting more powertrain stuff. So actually, I just realized. Wait, what? Okay, I forgot that was spec 1 actually. I was about to say that we can't develop 2 at one time, but then I remembered. Yep, spec 1. And we might want to get some reliability stuff after this race, because we do have the second worst reliability on the grid. In terms of wear, this weekend we are going to need to change out some of these components, such as the ICU, maybe even the MGUH and the MGUK. But let's go skip to this invitational event, and then we can do that to get ourselves some acclaim. So here we go, here's that stuff in it. So I'm actually going to go get... We don't have enough, we need 5 more. So we have got the invitational event checkpoint challenge in a Red Bull. That looks like 2011, 2010 Red Bull around Zandvoort. So let's go get on with that. Well, I think it was a slight bit broken there, considering Crofley was meant to be speaking, but oh well. So here we go. We are in the 2010 Red Bull Racing RB6 around Zandvoort, of course the Dutch Grand Prix. We have 32 seconds in between checkpoints, and we've got to travel a total of 7.8 kilometers, or sorry, a minimum of 7.8 kilometers to pass, and that will give us 150k and 1,000 driver acclaim, not team acclaim. So yeah. Right. I just realized I haven't set the wheel up, so I should probably go do that. There we go. Right. Here we go. So this is a fun track. I really actually like this track. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes with this car, but the wheel isn't set up properly. So I'm gonna need to do this, disconnect it, and then reconnect it, and then we can restart. Right, let's try this again. Let's just move this over here. Alright, that's better. Yep, that's much better. Oh, the V10 engine. It sounds beautiful. I messed up my line through here, though, as we hit our first checkpoint there. I love this track. I love this car. Things couldn't be any better. Of course, we are actually going to be racing here next episode, so that is going to be interesting. So you're getting a sneak peek at the track for episode 5. in this little invitational event in this episode 4. But here we go, so we've currently travelled, if I leave it a second, 4 kilometers, so we've got 3.8 kilometers to go. It shouldn't be too hard. I've done this invitational event quite a few times before, so it should be good. Just have to concentrate there. So we're now in the 5 kilometer range. Going up to 6 kilometers, that is 6 kilometers now. Just keeping my eye on that top right hand corner of the screen. And I think we should be good. I messed up my line through there and I didn't know where the next checkpoint is. So we're now hitting 7 kilometers. And we're now hitting the 10 seconds on the clock for that last checkpoint. And we are going to make it, but the question is how much further are we going to get? Because we do get that checkpoint, but that could be our last one. So I don't know where the one is around here. And if we're going to make it, I don't think we're going to make it, as we've only got 5 seconds left. Actually, we do make it, and we're going to make it to 9 kilometers. But there's no way we are making the second one. As you can see, it was just over there, so a few seconds more and we would have had it. But yeah, we passed the objective, get that 150k bonus as well as 1000 driver acclaim. So here we are in the garage for qualifying 1, and I forgot while we were in the data center, but we can do it now. We need to change the ICE. Actually, I don't know if we'll have enough time. 18 to 20 minutes, we don't have enough time, so we are going to be running on a worn ICE for this weekend, which is going to be a pain, but we're going to have to deal with it. Let's go put on our dry China setup, and then we can get out to the track for our first lap. So I believe China is a very downforce heavy track, and of course we are lacking a bit in downforce. China isn't one of my best tracks anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see how we perform here this weekend. As you can see, we haven't even started our flying lap and our DRS is broken. So that is great. I mean, we're going to need to do this lap without DRS, and I think as you can see, I've already bottled it a bit there. But let's come around the final corner and start our flying lap without any DRS, which is going to be interesting to see how we do with that. Probably somehow going to still be quicker than Williams. Well, here we go, around this corners. I hate these corners. It's the standard Herman Tilke start. I really like those corners at Sepang, but it's here that they're just horrible. At least I think Sepang was Malaysia. Yeah, I think it was Sepang was Malaysia. We got that really long left-hander coming into quite a long right-hander as well. I never noticed how long that corner was before. And then into some quick left-handers. Then into this long winding left-hander which takes you into a right-hander, which then will take you into the straight. I think this is one of the longest straights on the calendar, next to Vietnam and Azerbaijan. in without DRS, we're going to suffer on this lap. So we're going to need to make up for that in our second lap of this qualifying session, which will be after this, which will hopefully we will have DRS for. But anyway, here we go, coming around the final corner. Of course we would activate DRS around here, but nope. And we are coming in quicker than the Williams, as I said earlier. So I guess I'll see you when we finish that lap, or if anything interesting happens on that lap. Well, when I say that lap, I mean the second lap, but I'll see you then. So here we go, as we are now coming onto the long straight. I messed up my line there, but we are quicker in the first two sectors. We also have DRS this lap, which is really nice, but in the top left you can see we are P19 currently, so it's, if we can see, we can improve on that. Judging by my line through there, we might not. Actually no, our delta is still quicker, so this is good. Can we get past Reichen's this time? But we've gone wide on the final corner. How is that going to affect us? It is going to put us in P16. We are through to Q2, people. Oh well, I guess I'll see you for that Q2 lap. But here we go. The short left-handers coming down to this small straight. And we have gone slower than Ocon, which doesn't surprise me considering they are in a quicker car. As you can see down the bottom right, we are getting a warning for engine wear, because that is, the ICE is now on 60%. So that's going to be a bit worrying for the race, but it should be fine. We might see a lack in pace, but I don't imagine it'll be hampering us that much. So we're coming around the tight right-hander. I'm going to try not to run wide here, like I did in that last lap in Q1. Here we go. Riding the curve a bit through there, and we are starting in P15, which I'm quite happy with. I think that's a good starting position for us. I guess I'll see you for the race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Perez, Norris, Stroll, and Lewis Hamilton. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Magnussen, Lucky, and Grosjean, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, Carlos Sainz, and Kimi Raikkonen. Latifi, King, Russell, and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are in China, As you can see, we're starting P13 thanks to, I think it was Ocon and Sainz getting grid penalties. Our strategy, though, I'm actually going to change this, and we're going to start on the medium tyres and end on the softs. It's going to be a risk, but we do have a chance of getting a podium here. So, I mean, we're going to have to try and... Actually, wait, no. What lap are we pitting in? We're pitting in lap 5, so we're extending it to about 9 laps, by 4 laps. So, let's do that. Let's pit lap 9. Because that's got the less increase. And let's go with that. We'll then decrease this to 15.8, so we have a bit of extra fuel to use down the straights when we need it. But let's get on to the race. The wheel's calibrated properly, that is. So it is. Yep, it is. We're all good. And we are off. In China, we got a bit of a bad start. We've now got a Grosjean coming down the inside of me. We're going to try and go around the outside of Magnussen into turn 1 and then 2. Everyone is pretty much too wide going into turn 2. We might have this move done as we've got the inside line through here. Of course, we are on the slower tyre. We're up into P12, but Magnussen coming back. And you see Hamilton in front, also doing that, but Magnussen going for the dive there. And we have lost our front wing. We're going to need to pit. And Jeff is suggesting that we come in now for the hards, which I'm going to agree to. And we're going to pit this lap onto hard tyres. So we will not need to pit again. But thanks to Magnussen, we've lost the left side of our front wing. Which means we are a bit slower. We've got a bit of a lack in handling, as you can see. So that is quite a bit annoying. So, that was quite a dive bomb from Magnussen there. But we might suffer from this, we might benefit from this, we will see. But here we go, we're ready to come into the pits. After that first lap incident here at the Chinese Grand Prix. So we're braking, so we're not speeding the pit lane. And here we go for a pit stop. Now, what if I told you this is the second time I've actually recorded this? Because last time, I recorded it, the video was set to upload, and then it just decided, you know what? We're not going to save your progress. In that race, we did finish 11th, but we didn't take front wing damage on the first lap. But we'll see how we do in this one. It was a 10-second pit stop because, of course, we did have to add a front wing. And we are 26 seconds ahead of Russell, who is the car in front. So this is going to be quite a boring race until the pit stops. When everyone in front starts pitting in. I think that's about lap 4. But as you can see, the tyres still need to be heated up a bit there as we skid around turn 3. But yes, so depending on this result, we should be able to get claim level 5 here, which means we can get our second secondary sponsor. And it also means that we can... Actually, I don't know where I'm going with that, but that second secondary sponsor, I think I'm going to go for the one, I can't remember the company name, but it's the one we don't have any DNFs throughout the race. Because that one that we have right now, the Zenetta one, the 2 interview questions, it's all down to whether the player asks you questions or not. So it's quite random, that one. I still can't believe this didn't save though. I was going to keep it and just upload that one, but then I realised that the result would be different if I redid it. So I may as well just do this one. But it looks like someone is out of the race in front of us. It's Roman Grosjean. If it was Magnussen, I'd say Karma, but of course it's not. It is Grosjean who is out of the race. Which is good for us. It means Haas won't be that close to catching us up. It's that one more in between us and them, but of course I think Magnussen is now in the points because of that like massive dive bomb he did. Obviously, as you can see, King P19 now. I don't know how I feel about King. I think I'm going to get rid of him mid-season and maybe go for De Vries or Schumacher. Just because they'll probably do us better until the end of the season, maybe even mid-season next year. Until we can actually get ourselves a driver from another team. So I think De Vries will probably get better results than King is. So we might be going with him, we will see when it comes to Austria, which will be episode 11. So we're currently F4, so Dutch Grand Prix will be about halfway there. Till it is time. So we are actually closing this gap to the cars in front. Because it was 26 before, it is now 24. Although we are quite a bit back, we're going to have to see what happens during the pit stops. And if we can benefit from that. If not, we're a bit screwed. Why is it when we start up quite high up the grid, something bad happens on the first lap? Because in Bahrain we started 11th, thanks to some more grid penalties. Ricciardo takes off her front wing in the first lap, although it wasn't as bad as what happened here. It was, and then it was me bottling it into like uphill death curve that screwed us over and made us P17. Over here in China, starting P13, our second highest start of the year, and we're down in last now. Of course, as you can see, bottom left-hand side of the screen, people are coming into the pits ahead of us. So this is where we might be able to make up some places, might be able to close some gaps. We will see. So next lap is probably when everyone is going to pit, like most people are going to pit. And then maybe the lap after that, a few people might as well, and we can make that up. So we're wanting to really push as hard as we can here, so we can make the most of this. And as you can see, we're now 8 seconds within Sainz. It's better than the 24 seconds that we were to Russell. So we might actually be able to get like Russell, King, maybe even Latifi. And maybe we can get some good racing after this, just me on my own for 5 laps. It's still annoying me that the game didn't save. I'm trying to think of things I spoke about. Here we go, we do have more cars coming into the pits now, so that is good. I think lap 5 is when we were meant to be pitting, but obviously that didn't happen. So we're gonna move up to Rich Mix, deploy our ERS. And there is a Williams coming to the pits, I think that's Russell, so that's one place we might be able to make up. We're coming into the hairpin, it is Russell. So he was the driver in front of us by 24 seconds. Of course, he's got to go right to the end of the pit lane to get into his box. We might have him. He's coming out. And we are ahead of the Williams. And not that far behind Raikkonen, actually. Of course, Raikkonen is on faster tyres and newer tyres as well. So we might suffer with some tyre wear late in the race while these guys won't. But we will have to wait and see. So now I can try my best to catch up to Raikkonen. And we might even be able to get King and Latifi this lap. Which will be quite nice. Might even be able to be racing wheel to wheel with our teammate. We will see. We're just trying to catch up to the Alfa Romeo in front of us. Try and get within DRS territory, but we are not. We're not within that second. We're going to use ERS down the straight anyway. To just kind of gain that advantage. See what we can do. Of course, a lot more cars coming to the pits now. King, Latifi, that's probably Giovinazzi as well. And AlphaTauri and a Haas, so that'll be Magnussen. So we're going to be able to get the other Williams. We're going to be able to get our teammate. Maybe a few other cars if we're lucky. Here we go, we're going to come out ahead of Giovinazzi, so we are up into P17 from last. We're now kind of catching Raikkonen as well. Of course, these Alfa Romeos are slower than us. So we do have the power advantage compared to them. But that's whether I can do this without bottling it or not. So we are actually within a second of him. That's whether we can keep that throughout these last few corners. He's pulling away down the straight with that Ferrari power unit in the back of that car. And we're just out with the second. That's a bit annoying. Here we go, ERS. We are actually closing in on him. So we will get the DRS down the start finish straight. So we may be able to take him into turn 1, turn 2. We shall see. As into the last corner we go, we run wide. Raikkonen starts to pull away, and we have enabled DRS, but I don't think we're close enough to be able to pull off any move whatsoever. So we could take a look around the second corner here, but no. Again, he's too far ahead. We're losing the rear end a bit as well there for Raikkonen. Plus they're still getting used to those tires in the car. I was going to try to dive down there, but he was too far back. From what Magnussen did at the start. I suppose this means that Magnussen is staying around the spot that he got up to. He's going to get points, which means Haas are going to come closer to us in the championship. So depending on whether that's a P9 or P10, it's either going to be 1 or 2 points. He maybe even get P8, which will be annoying because I think that will put him either equal to us or ahead of us. Because we, of course, have got 3 points. Or finishing 10th in Bahrain. No, 9th in Bahrain. And then, no. 9th in Australia and then 10th in Vietnam. Here we go, we just can't seem to get Raikkonen down the straight. Of course, we did have DRS that time. I didn't even notice that, even though I activated it. Again, running wide final corner. I need to stop doing that. Here we go. If I can close in on him coming down here, I can try and move down the inside. I take a look, but no, I can't get anything done. We're just too far back for anything. Update on wear, actually. We are 65% on the ICE, 49 on the MGUH, and 48 on the turbocharger. So, for the Netherlands, which is next episode, we will use those worn components for practice, but for the qualifying in the race we will add new parts, meaning that we won't take a penalty, as it's not during park firming, but we will get that performance we need. But of course we are closer to Raikkonen now, meaning we might be able to pull off a move. Getting closer. On the outside. Braking late. It's still side by side. Of course, that Ferrari power advantage coming into play here. And we get to move down around the final corner. So now we have Ocon to catch up to, but in 3 laps, I don't know how possible that is going to be. Oh, sorry, 4 laps and 3 seconds of a gap. I don't know how well we're going to be able to pull this off. Of course, I keep saying this when we're battling like McLaren and Renault, but we do have the same power unit as them, but their car is more developed than ours. Okay, so Raikkonen is going to get DRS down here. So he is within a second of us. Let's see what's going to happen. I think he's too far back to make a move. But you can see that gap, top left, coming right down. This has got the DRS activated. And this might actually be our fastest lap of the race. A new personal best, by the looks of it. No, it's not. We're slower in the last sector. I was looking good with the first sector and second sector, both green, but it didn't come to anything. Oh, we're losing the rear end a bit there. So that's going to play into Raikkonen's hands. As you can see, he's getting closer. We're going to move to the inside to kind of block him a bit, but it's not going to do much. Of course, we can only move once when defending. Although in the game, that is not a rule. In real life, it is. You can only move once while defending. I kind of want to stick to those rules. And we have been able to defend it, but I think he might be able to get past us down the straight. And as well, we're going to need to move down to a lean mix as we are running a bit low on fuel. And as Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, he is actually leading the race right now, so he could beat, or break, sorry, Bottas' win record, or win streak. Is now here comes Raikkonen. Is he going to take a look around down the inside? No, he's not. Although he might try and fight back down the start-finish straight. Of course, Bottas has won every race so far this season. In the first time I recorded this, he did win. But of course, as you can see, Max Verstappen is now leading the race, so he could get his first win and Red Bull's first win of the season. And I think he is second in the championship, so that'll be good for him. But of course, Hamilton did take away that fastest lap from him. Hamilton's kind of dropped off a at the start of the season, which isn't that good actually. You won't be too happy with that. So I think we're going to see a fight for the championship between Verstappen and Bottas, which is going to be nice to not have Hamilton in the picture. But here we go again, round these few corners and into the long straight. And Raikkonen, not as close as he was last time, but he's still within a second, and he's gonna get DRS. But he's too far back to do anything about it. And we're going to move back up to standard mix, as we do now have sufficient amount of fuel to do us for these last 2 laps. As we are now starting lap 13 of 14. But we go a bit on the grass there. I want to try not to do what I did a few laps ago around here and just rev the car too much and we'll lose the rear end a little bit. I honestly thought when that happened we had spun the car like we did in that Q1 lap, that second Q1 lap at Vietnam. Of course, we still got through to Q2, but I thought it was over then when I did that. Luckily, no one behind us managed to get that position and get into Q2. It really played into our hands. Of course, going on the grass there is I wasn't paying attention, which is great. Raikkonen now a half a second. I didn't see who got that fastest lap. I'm just looking at the playback. It is Bottas, who has somehow got quite a bit of a lead over Verstappen now. But I should stop concentrating on that battle and concentrate on my own, as Raikkonen is gonna make a move into the hairpin. We're gonna have to try and defend as good as we can. And we touch. And Raikkonen kind of pulling away. I have the inside line coming into the last corner, and we managed to keep the position and get DRS as we were behind him at the detection zone. We're now on our last lap. Let's see if we can keep P16 here, because that would be good after a bad race. So I just don't want to bottle it anywhere here. Although I'm looking at the gap between me and Raikkonen, and it is quite low. It's quite short distance. So he's gonna fight back as well again on the straight. And if he's gonna be able to pull that off in the last few corners of the last lap, that's gonna be quite a pain. So I want to try and get a good line through here. Kind of pull away as much as we can. We're going to move to rich mix, which is a bit of a risk, but we're going to go with it. And I think it's too far back, so we're going to move back down to standard. Yep, he's too far back to do anything, so we are good. So after starting P13, having Magnussen take off our front wing in the first lap, pitting on the first lap, we come home in P16, which I say is a decent result.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So as you can see, Magnussen finished lower than the position he started in, so that's karma. He didn't finish in the points, but Bottas winning again, 4 times in a row. He's going to go on to win every single race this season, isn't he? Oh well, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the highlights.